Disinformation or no information at all, that appears to be a common theme at the FBI. This week, FBI Director Christopher Wray providing testimony before Congress on the attempted assassination of President Trump. However, we got little to no facts from him. Instead, he just spewed more disinformation out there, saying that President Trump may have not been hit with a bullet. Something, of course, former physician to the president, Ronnie Jackson, was quick to correct, calling the director's remarks, quote, wrong and inappropriate. Let's bring in our next guest, former Army infantry sniper and U.S. Marshal Task Force officer, Alex COKER. Alex, thank you so much for joining us. Talk to me about how catastrophic all of this is. There's some new videos that have been coming out, just how close President Trump came to death, 8 shots fired at him. What is your perspective on all this? And were you satisfied by the testimonies that you heard from Christopher Wray, as well as Kimberly Cheadle, who is now the former head of the Secret Service?
Yeah, when you're at the top, you're always going to take the hit. You're ultimately, your responsibility making things happen. I got several things to put out to you, Lydia. Number one, when the Secret Service reacted, they trained over and over and over and over for that exact situation, and they unfortunately they didn't do a great job there. They hunkered down on top of the president instead of getting him off the edge. So your job as a protective service agent is to grab the man and by the coat and drag him off that stage, even if he's lifeless. And that goes back to making sure you have agents that are strong enough to be able to grab a lifeless 250-pound body off the stage, off the X, and throw him in a Suburban and get him to a hospital as soon as possible, not hunkering down in place. As far as the counter snipers go, I said it from the very beginning before the information came out. I believe the counter snipers, possibly did not, see where where the shooter was at. They couldn't see it from their vantage angle, and they definitely should have had drones up there. But again, you got to remember, there's 15,000 plus people that were out there, and you cannot see everything. It's kind of hard. The snipers are looking inside the perimeter, outside the perimeter, and their eyes can't be everywhere at once. But yes, a drone could have definitely helped. Let's talk right quick about the bullet. Okay, this is a 5.56 millimeter, also 223 caliber bullet. You had the bullet here, you had the brass casing, and also the primer. So the weapon hits the primer. It's kind of like a little snap pop, and it comes out, and you got the brass. There's gunpowder inside, and what you're left with is a little bitty tiny bullet, just like you see right there, and that's what hit President Trump's ear. For Director Christopher Wray to say that, oh, it was something else that might have hit him. What is it, a paper plate? If you look at my YouTube videos under Alex COKER, some of those videos I'll talk about tactical medical. I'll teach law enforcement about tactical medical. I actually shoot meat, and you can see that little bitty tiny round. If it's not hitting bone or anything, it'll go straight through, and barely make any type of information. There's the brass, the gunpowder coming out. That's about how much gunpowder is inside there. But I truly believe that was the round, that struck the president's ear, and I believe that was, divine intervention by God, or higher being, whoever you believe in, that sit there and saved him. God has still has a purpose for him. I want to touch on
Alex. Real quick, before I don't want to interrupt you, but we do have to go soon. I want to get your take on this body cam footage that was recently released, that it shows the agents on the roof there after killing the suspect here. Talk to me. Initially, they said the roof was too sloped. This person had been up there. 30 seconds to you, sir. Why didn't they just pause President Trump from going out on stage? They had an unknown individual there lying on this roof, 130 yards away, perfect clear shots of President Trump. Why not simply tell the president, stand by, we need to investigate who this person is?
Oh, I totally agree with you. And what's even worse is one of the counter snipers up there, I think it might have been a local police sniper, even identified the shooter beforehand. They took a picture of him. Again, I've worked multiple details, and you got 15,000 people, and they identified this one guy as being a possible threat. In my time, we take an actual agent and assign to that person to keep an eye on him, because he's squirrely and doing everything wrong, being by himself, walking around, showing all the signs that something is not right. One of his kids is not like the other, and definitely he was not like the other. And he proved that. They should have had someone assigned to him that stuck out. A couple other things. Both parents, were possibly certified counselors. And I believe, again, if we look back on all these shooters, we're going back into these possible mind-altering drugs, prescribed drugs that these kids are on. And I believe it's only masking the problem instead of helping the problem. And going back to three things we could possibly do for that is, one, strict punishment for kids that bully, these kids, these loners. Number two, school resource officers need to reach out to those loners and become their friend, because sometimes it's the only friend they have. And number three, put those kids in some self-defense type training, tactical, Muay Thai training, jiu-jitsu, everything else to toughen up those kids' hearts, to make them where they can stand on their own 2 feet. And here's the other thing. Lastly, do not stop filming the action. Don't see something, say something. Now it is time to, you see something, do something. Put the phone down, react, and make things happen. And we could have stopped that guy. Yeah. Get out there and do something, America.
Absolutely. And Corey Campitori would be alive today, that former fire chief that was killed protecting his wife and daughter. It's unbelievable. And President Trump, millimeters, divine intervention, as you said. Alex Coker, I wish we had more time. I love your passion. We'll bring you back on. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Thank you, sir.
God bless you. God bless America.